Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we got the head back for the Saab. I really cleaned the engine. Uh, Very good. You have to also blow all the holes for the head bolts. Make sure there is no fluid and clean the engine. Let me actually take you over there. So as you can see, the engine looks pretty clean. I use a special cloth so you don't make scratches on the cylinder, I mean on the block surface. Then you blow on each one of the cylinder holes, including the timing ones. And what I usually do is just leave a little bit of a brake cleaner on top of the pistons overnight, and then the next day I just clean it up. And as you can see, it's no scratches in there because I just use a rag. Everything comes off, especially in an engine like this one. There is not that old. So this is as much as you need to prepare the block for the new cylinder or the new gasket. And then I'm going to install the new lifters. I also got the lifters on oil for 24 hours. That's again my personal preference. I just need to whatever is inside to get soaked with oil, so it's not gonna be working dry. I also had all the uh, camshaft caps on brake fluid to remove whatever was in there. The cylinder head came very clean from the machine shop. He did a very good job. Tyson's machine shop right here in Herndon, Virginia. He's a very good friend, and he does very good job. So I'm going to use for installation. I'm going to use this assembly grease and also this ultra thick uh, lubrication. I got the followers in here, so those are untouched. I don't want to like clean them before because they will step too dry. So my idea is to clean them, soak them into brake fluid, drop it into the oil, and then install. Remember what? Those are just uh, like a bearing inside in each one of them, so the oil will definitely get in there as easier than the lifters. So the other thing that I want to show you is I got the information ready for the installation. As far as the cylinder head, it says that we need to torque in 3 steps. First step will be 30 Newton meters or 22 foot-pounds, then 150 degrees, and then a third step of 15 degrees. Then the timing bolts will be 35 Newton meters or 26 foot-pounds. As far as the camshaft caps, those are torqued to 10 Newton meters. I got the torque in here. I'm going to show you, probably just the one, and then the rest ones I just do off the video, so it's not going to be too long. And that is the timing cap. So, you're supposed to set it up, and it's a procedure. So let me see if I can show you that. That's the procedure for the timing. Then it tells you to rotate the engine, torque this, blah blah blah. So hopefully that is very good in there. So let me start again putting the cylinder head back together. Oops, sorry for that. I'm gonna make a little bit more room in here, and so you guys can watch me working here. Again, I'm not going to show the whole assembly, but at least the majority. So usually what I do again is this is very nice and clean. Try to prepare yourself with a very nice and clean um, work table, and then wash your hands. Make sure everything that you're going to use is very clean. It's very important. So we can lubricate this. I like to usually to just use this one in here. This will dissolve very easy in each one of the locations where the cams are going to rotate. So again, on this cylinder here, we put all intake valves new. They were razor sharp, like my friend Thomas saw on the video. You got a very sharp eye, Thomas. It was very, very sharp. Actually, I think I have one in here for you guys. Yeah, the machine shop guys saved it for me. So we saw that in the test that I did, there were exhaust and intake, but hopefully that can be seen. This is like, I mean, if you see, let me get close. Like, I'm not sure if that will be shown on the video well, but it's actually an edge, like a tiny hair. Hopefully that is shown in there, yeah, of the valve. So that is like from the rotation, because I mean, when the engine is working, the valve rotates, and that starts to like sharpen it. So this is like a, I mean, like it will cut you. So this is like again really really sharp. So that's why they were not sealing correctly. That was from cylinder one. This was one of the valves in cylinder one. All right, let's keep going with this. Let me take these caps out of here so they start getting dry. The nice thing about the brake cleaner is it dries out very easy. Put these caps on the side. All right, that's good enough. Just cleaning, I mean, I already did this, but I like to always go back one more time before installation for any uh, dust or so. So if you remember, I marked one of the caps, which is probably the first one in here, that's going to tell me the location of each one of the camshafts. This is number one. Put this here on the side so I don't step on it. I'm gonna need it, so I'm gonna put it too far away, and we can put a rack in there. As we remember, we got 1 through 5, I think, on the 1 through 6. Now we got 1 through 5 on the exhaust, and then 6 to 10 on the intake, if I am correct. Yeah, this will be exhaust, and that will be intake. Pretty sure. Gotta stop the video 1 second, guys. All right, back in business. All right, so this is number one. Well, not that quick. Just wanted to put in this number two. All right, so I am correct. 1 through 5 will be on the exhaust side, and then 6 to 10 on the intake side. I already had those separated in there as well. These two caps are just one spot itself. I mean, also too. Um, he put some of the lubrication in there. I like to usually just put 1 drop of this very thick oil on top of the valve. But this one is going to last a little longer than that grease. I think they call this like a magic purple lubricant. This is made for this, so don't be afraid of put it. Ain't gonna damage anything. I have seen guys put them in here too. Again, that's your preference. You do whatever you wish to do in your case. As far as the lifter goes, well, I don't know why we're gonna not use that oil for anything else. So just make sure I don't drop that. So we can install the lifters. Nice and clean oil. One thing that I noticed when I left the lifters in there, it was just little bubbles of air coming out of it. That's why it's important to leave it in oil. I have not experienced a big knocking on, on the lifters from when I do install my cylinder heads back because of this. I learned this again from my father, and I have used it since. This doesn't have to be like surgically clean. I mean, there's rockers were like that, and if it would not be for the valve issue, they would be there for another 100, 150,000 miles. So nobody comes and clean the engines inside. And this engine was very clean. Okay, that's the last of the lifters. So we have intake and exhaust marked on these bags that I use for that. And then I set up the cylinder head the same way. We have our intake like that and our exhaust in here. So this will be the firewall. You'll be sitting in here driving, and that's the radiator side. So we know for a fact that that's where the exhaust seats in this car. Okay, so I have also marked cylinder one, two, three, and so on. I even mark it on the inside. So I wanted to inspect this a little bit. This will be sitting, just going to lubricate. Actually, that's not correct because this is, see, that's what is good about marking everything. This is the second one on the intake because the first one is on that metal tray, magnetic one right here. Remember, I didn't have enough room to set all because that box has only 15 slots and these are 16. So, but that's good. So that's nice and clean. I like to be always extra careful with this. I mean, I have seen guys that work, and I don't know, not even how the car runs. They don't clean anything. They just remove and install. Whatever it was, it goes in the same way. I already checked all these followers off video. I mean, the car has been here for like 3 weeks waiting on tool. Now the customer got for the timing. And some of the parts, because he supplied everything, something's a little bit hard to find. And he knew where to get it, so he went by his timing on this case. Make sure the follower sits on the lifter and on the valve, because you want that to move when you're installing. Also, when you set up the cams, make sure they're all nice and secure where they go. You can see I got number 1, 2, and see. One of the guys in the last video asked me, "Oh, you don't have to do the same thing with the lifters." Well, uh, in this case, I don't because I'm putting them all new. But if I will install the lifters or reuse them, I will probably mark use those like Ziplocs bags. Put a marker number outside, and then put each follower with the lifter in each one of those bags. But truly, when you're doing a repair like this, you don't want to. You want to like at least replace lifters, and if like in this case the valves. So this is not going to be out of this car for another 100,000 miles, so you cannot really go crazy and replace everything, but at least the most common failure parts. All right, so that's the last of the followers. I can get this one out of here too. Do I need more oil? I don't think so. Let me set up this here so it drains. So everything looks nice and clean. And again, now we have the chance to put this on. This, I remember I put the mark facing this way, so I will try to at least set the cams close to timing. Right here we can spin it and help it to put on time. But as far as I remember, let me see the mark. Actually, one easy way to do will be that use that tool, so that will set me perfectly in timing. Let me get it. 1 second, guys. Got it right here. So intake front, that will be here. See, this is, as I said, cam has to come this way, like right there. See, this caps has a cutout for both of the cams. Same thing on the exhaust. Like this, I don't have to be fighting them, spinning it to find the timing. I'm not going to tie this yet because this one is dry, but it doesn't matter because that will be removed. So now we can put a little bit of a bit of this grease. You can put on the cams too as well. Again, don't be afraid. This is oil in a grease form. And we need to put here so it's not going to work dry. See, there's nothing in there, but I'm looking at everything. So let's go to the front. All right. Now we can set that in there. Now we can take number 6 instead of here. Yep, perfect. See, my marks is very good. I will show you as soon as I have this in there. Let me get a socket for this. This weather is not really too good for your cold. Just reaching it close. I'm gonna actually loosen them up. So 6, 7 will be the next cap. Then we have number 8, number 9, And so is, you know, like I did in this case. See, yeah, see this is actually a good way because these cups are not marked. So this one has a guide. This one that has only one guide. So definitely, obviously, this is the one for here. Remember, that was the one that was very hard to remove. We'll do the same thing here. We'll find the right spot. Those are 13. Can get this out of here too. So number one is here. I always to follow the arrow. These are very nice because they're marked and has let me show you that in there too. Hopefully it shows up in there. So we have a number two and an arrow facing the front of the cam. So number two we're not going to install. Number three. Alright, we can put this in here. Because it was very slow with this. This was is strong. I got a phone call to cut the video because I'm using my phone, so I already have all the caps installed, not torque. Uh, this is not the right one. So I need a number 10. Uh, I don't have any specs of which way to go. The only thing they give me is torque, but not a sequence. So I will always go, you know, center and spread out so you don't put too much pressure on, you know, on the whole last cap or the first one. So it's 10 Newton meters. Very soft. It's like to be careful. It's like nothing. I'm gonna double check that tightness. It seems like very poor. That's a 13 on the back. All right. I'll leave those two for the last, or for last. All right, and the ones on the back, they're 20. Try to use the 1/4 inch in that. All right, so let's put this in 20. Okay. Perfect. All right, that's as far as I can go with this one. I'm going to leave these two install because we need to set up the timing on the engine no matter what. That will also help us hold the cams in place to torque the sprockets. This, no matter what, has also kind of like an hexagonal shape on the front, so you can put a wrench because you don't want to put that all that strength onto a cup because that can break and come off. So I'm going to put now the intake and exhaust manifolds as I remove, but I want to show you also the marks that I did with those caps installed. So let me start the video 1 second, guys. Okay, the mark that I want to show you is right here. So on the exhaust, I did 2 in the cap and 2 in the cam, and then on the intake, I did 1 on the cam and 1 on the cap. So as you can see, that would be very, very good because I mean you cannot go half a tooth. You either go 1 tooth on the change or back and forth. So that would not let you go back or forward a tooth. So let me put back the phone in the tripod. All right, right now I'm going to install the exhaust manifold, the turbo, all the brackets, and the intake manifold. As far as specification goes, the exhaust manifold goes 32 Newton meters. It goes a first step of 20 Newton meters and then 32, so 2 steps for torquing. In the intake manifold to cylinder head, it goes 10 Newton meters. I know it sounds low, but that's what they recommend, and I triple check that. So I'm going to not, show all that. I think this was the most important to show. I mean, installing an intake or exhaust manifold is not that much. So I'm going to start the video and I show you when it's already installed. All right, the exhaust manifold is pretty much installed. I'm going to put the turbo now. This jacket, I was actually one of the tool trucks. Snapple stops today. And the torque for the turbo are 40 Newton meters. I got the turbo here. Not sure we said this correctly. And I have that rubber piece under the cylinder head, so as you can see, the cylinder head is not sitting on the bench. Just to make sure we get no scratches in there. Again, I just want to show you a little bit of the assembly, not the whole thing. I also put this bracket in here. Got the ratchet for this. Just to get it closed. As you can see, it's still loose. Rather tight. And let me get the torque wrench. That's the torque wrench zeroing. So we need to put 40 Newton meters. Probably gonna need extension. The 40. Okay, that's 40. And one more. Okay, so turbo is tight. Turn this off. Get this a little closer to the bench. Now I'm going to install the intake. Let me stop the video. Actually, the intake manifold I'm going to install here as I did on the removal. Let's wait for me. So I'm pretty much ready to install the head. All right, I got the gasket in there. I think I'm going to use these directions from Rains. It tells me to use 30 Newton meters, 60, 60, and 35. The original says, 30 Newton meters and then 150 and then 15. It's a little bit aggressive to go just one time with 150, especially, on a used engine. So I'd rather use these directions, and this is the order of torque. That's the sequence. So this is very nice from them to give to us. So let me set up the head here. Let's double check one time and see that I got no oil underneath. And no, it's actually very clean. A little bit on one side, so I'm gonna clean it off camera. I checked the cylinder block and the head myself, and it's very, very nice and straight. It's gonna be a little hard, especially with these two. Gotta be careful not to break them. And so it's gonna be might be my way to hook it up in there. And I'm gonna call somebody to help me. This is not good for one person. Let me stop the video. Alright guys, off camera, I got Jonathan to help me to set it up. And went very smooth. All you gotta be careful is with the chain guides. It's good I left this because I need to pull this chain back up. I already got at least two of the center ones. And I can put all the bolts. These ones they come already pre-treated for like a Loctite or tread lock. Gotta be careful with this too. You get a extension in there. This one is the one you can drop. Okay, perfect. And we'll tie this one after. What I do with the ratchet. Not actually using the impact just to get it on place. Same thing, 1, 2. There we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. If you see the OEM recommendation, the actual sequence is different, but as long as you go 1, 2, and then change the position, that's what they're trying to do, spread out the load of the torque so you don't work the cylinder head. All right, so let me get the torque wrench with a 15 millimeter socket. For this one, I'm going to use the 1/2 inch. Gotta 0 it too. All right, we got 30 newton meters. Hopefully that shows up. And we're going to start here. Okay, 30, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to go to degrees. With the snap-on torque wrench, I can change the unit. So I go to here. Actually, that will be just in there. So actually, I gotta click the arrow, I think. Yep, that's for the angle. The torque is zeroing, so you just gotta leave it steady and it will zero. Now we gotta go 60 degrees. If you hold it, it will go faster. All right, we got the 60. Again, I would like to count so I know which bulb I was doing. So number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we gotta go 35 degrees. And this will be the final one. So one more time from the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's the last one. All right, guys, that went well. So the cylinder head is torque. Now my next step will be to put the engine on time. As far as the crankshaft position mark it should be there still. Let me move you guys 1 second. I need to get on this side. Try to take a look at that. I still gotta tie these ones up. Those are not that important, but don't forget them. I need to get a flashlight. Let me see if I can see from under. I can see that one. Yep, crankshaft hasn't moved. That's good. All right, let's torque these ones. Those are torque to 35 Newton meters. Let me set up the camera up top, and I thought you guys get a better view about the timing and everything. All right, guys, I'm setting out now the camera up in the top. So let me make sure the angle is correct for you guys to see everything. That looks pretty good. Okay, so right now my next step will be to set up the timing. I mean, we can do pretty much anything we want. We can set up the intake manifold, the timing, but since we have those blocks in there, might as well set up the timing. I want to double check that mark on the crankshaft. See if I can see it from here. I know you guys are not going to be able to. Just want to triple check that. I mean, I haven't spin the engine or nothing. It's a little hard to see. Sorry, the microphone got disconnected. That's why I wear that bands. Not because it's cold inside here, because it keeps my microphone in place, so I'm gonna have to wear it. Alright, sorry guys for the delay, but I need to check that mark. Yeah, the mark on the bottom is perfect. I know I didn't move, but I have to be sure. Right, we need to get the right tray here. Choose this one. Again, this is the intake one. We'll just put one ball with the hand. This 18. Yep, they're 18. Gotta get the torque spec for this. I had it ready pretty much in there. Be right back, guys. So it says put the plug in the cylinder head. That's the small one. Check the tension in the rear. Feed the chain, guys. Zero the glove, and then engine. Tighten the camshaft sprockets using a spanner wrench. Torque to 85 Newton meters plus 30 degrees. Alright, so I need to get the torque wrench out because I put it away. I went for lunch. This one I'm going to use the big one again. When in Newton meters, and we say 85. Right, got that one done. Let me just read the directions one more time. Feed the sprocket on the exhaust camshaft and the intake camshaft without tightening. Check the engine is zero. Feed the chain guide. Zero the groove on the end of the chain tensioner. Must be vertical. See timing chain tensioner. Feeding use oil filter tool, which is just a socket. So, alright, so see if I can put the other sprocket in place too. As far as the sprockets, you can see they move freely. So this is the importance to have the engine on time under and those blocks in here, because they got no dowel pin or nothing to secure them. And this guide is off. And this is a ball that we need to install in there. That is a number 10. And we have to be very careful not to drop it. Just double check 110. It's kind of like in place. I don't think it will drop because it's kind of like too long. Just need to install it. This will be 10 Newton meters, but I'm going to leave it loose and tighten last. Alright, we can put that here. Now we need to. So what they're trying to tell you is make sure that this groove on the tensioner feeds onto the guide, which is very important. Yep. So we will be turning this around. Got to make a mark. So my idea is we will be able to see at least here. So it's the kind of like a scratch here and on the other side. So we know where that flat spot for this is. It's not going to be that critical because either way this will move. So not like you need to set it up straight, fit it into the tread, and the same. If I am correct, yeah, the same. Gonna make sure to get everything as it should go. Yeah, well, you got to be careful is when you set the tensioner, just make sure it looks like this on the tensioner, the end. So make sure it's that way because it will grab the guide. When you start turning on the tread, it will already be locked. I remember that was like a 36. Yeah, I got that one here for that reason, I think. Maybe even be 32, I mean 34. Yeah, 36 is too big. Put this away. Got a 34 in here. Yeah, this works. So, I'm sure it's pretty much to the end. Okay. We'll read the height for that. It says to torque it, with the plug in the cylinder here. Oh, that's the on the right. Okay, then blah blah blah. Tensioner. And change side. And tensioner read. Tensioner must be changed. If damage. Torque it to 75 Newton meters. Tighten the camshaft sprockets. So let's tie the tensioner first to 75. That's the first one. Remember, I haven't touched the sprockets yet. You gotta be loose for this. Okay, that's 75 Newton meters. Let's suck it away. So this one to 85. This one here. Want to get those bolts as close as possible. All right. So I'm not sure. Let me loosen them up. I want to see if I can move this chains a little. I mean, with the tensioner already in place, it's going to be a little hard. Not sure if the chain is at the bottom correctly. Well, a little bit too late to do that. So what I'm going to proceed is just to tie these ones up, which is again to 85 Newton meters. This is just a reduction they got in there. So we need 85 and 30 degrees. We got a spanner wrench to help. You can either do two things, because as you can see, this has a spot for it. So we can use either an adjustable wrench in here. I don't see a difference to hold the sprocket or the cam itself. So let's see how it goes like this. Yeah, that's the best way. All right, we got the 85. Now, in order to set the torque to degrees, we hit the arrow one more time. Torque is zeroing, and we need. My brain is not concentrated today. 30 degrees, right? That's what we said? Yeah. So, let's set this to 30 degrees. Okay. Now the intake one. Okay. Now the two are close to specs. So is it the tensioner? Let's turn this off. I'm gonna leave it in here. We can remove that plastic wire tie as well. All right. No matter what, we're going to turn the engine as the spec says, a couple of turns. So it says to tie that up, remove the crankshaft adjustment tools and feed the camshaft cap, tied it to 10 Newton meters. Then turn over the engine 2 revolutions and reset to 0 so that the belt, pulley, and the timing cover marks are aligned. Remove the bearing caps again and set up the adjustment tools to recheck the time. So let's do that. So we need to get these two out. For this is a number 10, which we have in here. Actually, tie that guide. That is the 10 Newton meters before I forget that. Okay, this big one is starting to 16, so I need to get the small one. Let me stop the video 1 second, guys, and make it much longer. Alright, sorry I forgot to put the camera to record, but we didn't miss that much. I need to get the plug that goes here, and that is here. Just an Allen plug. So remember, this goes torque to 10 Newton meters, same as the caps. And not remove the blocks yet. Let me tie this up. So looks like a 10. Yes, it is a 10. Okay, that's good. Now let's remove these two caps. All right. Let me put this on the side. I have another tray in here where I got the other two cups. So this is number 2. Put a little bit of a lubricant in there. You can use this red, no problem in here. Same thing for the cams, so they don't work dry. I mean, I'm just going to turn it by hand, but it's still. I'm following, the specifications by the manufacturer as much as possible, especially when you're doing installations like this. I'm gonna torque this one just yet because I gotta remove it again to set up the block. Especially now that I have mic marks cover, I need to remove those later. So we're gonna spin the engine 2 revolutions. Front of the engine looks like a 21. So we have this. Remember, 1 turn of the cams is 2 turn of the engine, so we need 1 cam revolution. Let's actually go back another one more. Ain't going to affect anything if you go a little more. All right, now I need to raise the car up. You're going to check a little bit. Got to see that mark on the crankshaft. I'm a little far from launch, so I'd rather lift up the car. All right, put this away. Oop, just dropped my mirror. Luckily, didn't broke. Couldn't make this any hard to see, any harder. Okay, I can see the mark. All right, the mark in the crankshaft and the time cover is a 0. Now let me drop the engine down. So if everything is correct, I will be able to set up those cabs with major problem. As far as I remember too, remember I tell you that the camshafts had a line on it. And they kind of like almost line up with this. I can see that we're pretty much good. Still, I'm going to set those cabs in here. So I can put this one here. And let me set up the caps. So we got the intake. I can see it's perfect. Not even need to tie them up. They tell you to tie them up again and everything, but this is all the way out. I mean, all the way down, sitting perfectly. This is the exhaust cap, intake cap. As you can see, it's all the way, it's bottom. So the timing is 100% perfect. I don't need to retie this or reset. There's I got a guy here, so I'll be right back. All right, let's put those caps on it. Make sure we check each side. So this is 7. And this is number 2. It's gonna make him reach with the ratchet and then torque it. Right? And that is 10 Newton meters. I already set up the torque for that. That's 10, 10, and 10. So that is done. A little hard to get the sockets out of the torque wrench. I wish they put a like a push bottom to release the sockets on the torques on the torque wrench. Not such a big thing. Okay. One second, guys. Sorry, I got interrupted. Normal shop business. Okay, so we got the engine on time. Now we can put either the back cover, we can set up the muffler in the back. This looks like it's out. I don't like that, but there's nothing I can do. Okay, so I think my next step will be to set up the intake manifold, which is pretty much the next step. Injectors, got the gasket in here new. That's perfect. As you can see, I mean, even the pores and everything, he has a very good machine to clean the parts, and it looks like he did a little bit of some blast. I'm not sure if he's for the chemicals or so, but everything looks like brand new. So let me get the intake. Gotta stop the video, guys. I haven't cleaned this intake, so let me do it in 1 second. All right, wonderful. It's clean now. I got the gasket in there. Gotta remember, where do I need to install underneath? I remember that we have one hose. This one, I'm not even remember where it goes. So, okay, that was not so bad. You can see we got a little bit of a wire in there. No, it's not. Remember the blue hose that goes underneath. Yeah, this one goes in here because I remember I removed it because it was on the way. So this one goes in here and it connects right at the bottom. I can probably get that vacuum pump here too. So this is the vacuum pump that goes right here. And as you can see, I was putting it backwards, so that's all from the same pump. You can, I mean, those just get installed in any position. Oh, I must make it. Remember, we have that module that goes on the back as well. That's why it was a little tight. Get a socket for this. Looks like it's going to be 13. Yep. And where's my ratchet right here? This for the bottom one, which is going to be difficult to install. Nice thing about now is we are not in a rush to hurry up because we have to press the gasket like the cylinder head gasket. Those are gaskets that you want to press and tight done. Alright, so this one will go here. Short 13 looks okay. So I remove you. You're not in my way. one on the top. See if I can get this one. Nope, a little too short. I mean too long. We got a short one. Okay. That's short 13. That is for this bracket. We torque that pump. That one goes into 25, 30 Newton meters. Got 13 sockets for that. Okay. And for the bottom one, I'm gonna need extension. All right. I'm gonna keep it here. Because now I want to set the. I need to tie that one by hand. No, it's just a fastener. Okay, that's good enough for me. I like to show this time that I always torque everything, especially the important things like that bracket. I mean, with experience, you will know that that is perfect enough or good enough. Now, set up the pump. I think I do have this gasket in there, so let me change this one too. This is the new gasket for that. And this one is the same thing. It's just an uh, hexagonal head. You gotta just find a spot. Looks like it's pretty much in there. Yep. Now let me get the bolt. Same torque. Now we can use the torque. It goes off if you don't use it for more like 5 minutes to save battery. I usually don't show all this process because it's just, makes the video too long. But some people has complained, it's like, oh, you should do that, and you have to torque every single fastener. I'm like, well, I'm sure because you're gonna have a video that is 10 hours, it will be just boring. All right, so we have this one. So we go under here. Remember if this is the front or because I know I have two. That's not connected in there yet. So this one is a little tight. I should have put it before I put that module. Oh, actually got in. Never mind. Okay, so we got that in place. I will wait when I put the back over gasket and cover to spray a little bit and clean these pumps. I mean, they're gonna get dirty either way, but it's just to make it nice. So now we have this one, and I have the pipe that goes in the front. I have to remove those lines again. Now this must go in here. So this goes right here. Just, I'm trying to remember what do I need to install or not now. This goes like this. It goes here, and not the fact that you go here. I don't remember the exact position because it might be on the top of the yeah, this goes here. I think it's this way. I have to look at the video. I gotta stop 1 second, guys. Let me check that out. Okay, guys. So the same hoses will pretty much tell you. This one that comes from like the brake booster. Let's say 'cause that's what it looks is coming from. Yeah. That goes attached to one of the ports on the intake manifold. On the intake manifold. The other one, which is this blue hose, it goes under the intake. That is going to connect to this um, port in here, which is the evap system. I'm not going to connect it because it's going to get in my way, and it's going to connect to this valve, which most likely will go here. That's going to set up here, so we connect this one in here and then the connector. This is again an intake vacuum for the evap system. 1 second, guys. Looks like I'm not going to be able to work today. Alright, so we can set up the intake then. I think the only thing that goes underneath is here, this one, and then a connector. Remember we have for under here, which is the injector connector. So let me get the injectors. You need to get the injector, the throttle body, the throttle valve. So let's set up the injectors first. Just drop one of the plugs. So this goes like this. That's probably better if I lubricate them a little bit. We can use WD-40 just to lubricate your rings on the front so that will go in easier. Let me see. Don't want to set up the. You know what? Let me put the intake first. I'm sorry, guys. We'll be back and forth. Just don't want to have much stuff in my way. You like to keep all the nuts and all the stuff in the magnetic trays because you can just send them up. Okay, these four are for the throttle valve or throttle body. Actually, set up a tray here. Yep, that works perfect. And these are the bolts. We got two. They are different. The four. We got also the yeah, I can see the bottom ones. The longer. So that's pretty good. We got one in between this hole. And that's right here. So let me get a piece of paper towel. I don't remember who, but somebody on YouTube was like, "Oh, guys, let me show you a trick that I invented." Like this. Come on, dude, this is like common sense. I've been using that for like 40 years. But he was trying to claim that he invented that. Like, that's my sole idea. And we need two nuts, which are right here. Perfect. I like always to separate in different trays so I know that that will be for the intake and whatever is attached to it. Okay. Then I just gonna let it reach. All right, let me get the torque. Yep, that's gonna reach in there perfectly. Just need a longer extension. That's 10 Newton meters. Okay. Careful with these little pieces in there. Now we can get the little valves. I need a gasket for that, which I do have right now. Let's see the position of that. Pretty sure, okay, two of the bolts are these ones, and these are the upper ones. You can move the gasket by hand carefully. The ones on the bottom, because that valve attaches to this too. And let's get that closed with the battery ratchet. Oh, that's not in the way. I'm in the hole. This will go to 10 millimeters. Oh. Need a deep one for this one. I can reach like this. Yeah. All right. All right. Things are looking better now. So it's going to be somewhat around here. So thinking what to put next. Let's get the injectors in here. So remember, we got to feed this wire in for here. Okay. Got to lubricate that very well. You can even put some WD-40 in there. I don't want to damage those O-rings. Remember, that's right in the intake. So a little bit of WD-40 will burn. Not a problem. You want to make sure the O-rings are going soft. Feel the one went in. Right there. It looks like it's in. Yeah. Oh, that one went too much. One is not really trying to go. I think it's going and then coming out. I think now it's perfect. Definitely feeling better. Sure, everything is correct. Now let me hands and get the bolt for there. These are disordered too. Pretty sure. And before I go too crazy, let's get that pipe. I want to make sure we can install it. Yeah, it's still nothing on the way. So again, 10mm socket. These are just injectors. Those coils is the same thing, 10 Nm. We need now number 10 for the end. So I got a 10 in here. This looks like 15. This 15. 14, sorry. Alright. So we now got injectors in place. Gotta get that wiring connected. I got it right in front. Hopefully I'm not too much in the way of the camera. And that also has a clip, like a Christmas strip clip that attaches to this tube, which now we can put two. That is just a dipstick tube. We can attach that one now, because when we put this pump in here, there ain't going to be enough room. Okay. We got a 1/4 inch ratchet out of here. And get it out of here. Okay. That looks good. Should we proceed now with the wiring? Well, we need to set up the back cover too. I think I wanted to put the back cover so I can lean on and install the exhaust. Let me stop the video, guys, and so to not make it too long, because I already have a lot of time in here. Sorry, guys, I gotta change the angle. The battery on the phone was dying, and I can have it charged in there too. All right, so I got the the back cover installed and torque. I recheck all the bolts, and it's pretty easy, 10 Nm. So let's keep going with here. Let me get that valve. What I did with it? Right here. Okay, so this goes here. And see some hoses and connectors. It's just reach perfectly. Alright, so we can put the other hose, which is just a regular hose. Here. Let's see if I can reach that clamp. Get that clamp as close as possible so I don't have to find it in there.
better if I grab it here. Yep, that's the way to do it. I can put the hose in place and nope. Probably be able to do it that by hand. Okay, I got the clamp in place. And that valve too. This hose just connects in here, so might as well. Oh, I need to put that out. I use this a special clip that I got under in there. Put the computer here too. So again, guys, and I made the video long. I'm gonna stop, and go, so you guys can get a taste of the rest, which is very much assembly. You know, it's pretty easy. Looking better, closer and closer to start it. Actually, 21. The other one I'm gonna use it just with the adjustable wrench. As you can see, I got pretty much all the wiring, route and setup. I still got to put the coils in. I already set up the catalytic converter on the turbo. I got to set up the oil lines and coolant lines for the turbo, but I got to raise up the car because you have to set up the bottom first. It uses a flange with 2 bolts, so you have to make sure that it's in first, otherwise the tube will be in the way. One of the coolant passages. Alright, that's good enough for that. What else? You can put the spark plugs. Yeah, let's do that. Like this little tube very much. It's very handy. It's amazing how just a piece of hose can be a tool. Somebody invented it, put a handle on it, and you buy it. Spark plug torque is usually 25 Newton meters. I gotta get that socket too. Have the torque wrench all the time next to me. I know I haven't shown everything, but this again, it will be too long. So I like to just get the spark plugs closed. I have to do everything all the way down. Now we got 25 Newton meters. Okay. Now we can set up the coils. Coils still got the grease, dielectric grease I installed in the beginning. For those that haven't seen all the series, just go over to my channel and click on videos, and you can find it right there. Otherwise, I will try to put a link on the other ones. I like the connectors that Saab uses. They're very, very good. No water, very, how can I say, like soft or not brittle. Now, usually Toyota, you cannot even touch the coils because all the clips break. Same thing with the Volkswagens. And these ones I like that you pull this out and it same connector comes out. Alright, so now we need those bolts. Make sure. So we use one of them. For something else. So hard, they all have the same head. Got the computer installed as well. Don't remember nothing that will require different length. I'm gonna have to get a 10, which is not gonna be that hard, but I hate to do that. That is definitely because I use it in something else. Again, the coils are 10 Newton meters. They're just coils. So let me start the video and get something. Get one of those bolts. Alright guys, I already set up the motor mount as well. One of the hoses that goes from the turbo to the air filter. I wanted to tighten up the clamp that goes onto that. If I can do it with this. Perfect. And connect the other hose that goes from this hose to here. Alright, so that is good. I'm still missing one here. I either gotta check the I think this is the one. This look a little weird position. Stop the video and proceed, guys. Again, this is gonna be the way. I got air filter in there too. This is one is easy. It just hooks up in like almost the same thing right here in the bottom, and it has another grommet on the front. But there is no bolts. All you gotta be careful too is that it's sitting on the hose that is at the bottom. It's kind of like a resonator, and then we can tie this up. So just to let you know, guys, things that I done off the video, I connect the high pressure sensor for the air conditioning. There is right here, right behind the air filter. Uh, this hose that comes from the reservoir of the coolant connects in here. That was the pipe that you saw that I put on top of the injectors. Well, this hose you guys didn't see is very simple. You just connect it and connect in here. And then this other coolant bypass, it goes to the turbo. You have to feed this one in the front of the engine, and it goes on top of this hose. So you have to put that one first, and it's a 17 millimeter banjo bolt at the back. So again, I already tied up the catalytic converter. I'm not going to put the cover. Remember, this uses a cover right here in the back, but I'm not going to put this because I still got to put two lines that are for oil, one on the bottom and the one on the top, but the flange on the bottom, and I have to raise up the cart and do it. I also need to install the cover that goes in here. I think that is inside the engine. I mean inside the car. As I remove that on the first part of the video. And obviously we have the engine cover. It's just a plastic. I have to put the battery as well. It's very dirty. So again, let me stop and keep going because as you can see, this is very dirty. You gotta clean it. All right, clean it up. I want to show you something, guys. So I removed these and I removed the coils in the first video. So this was the bolt for the coil that I was using. It was the one that I removed to do the testing. So it was in one of my trays on top of my little cart. Because I'm very meticulous, with like putting trays and make sure that nothing get lost and I have no extra and no left, or I mean no missing bolts. So that's what it was. All right, guys. All right, guys. Set up the camera so at least you can watch me work, but it ain't gonna be much for showing. So the first thing will be that bottom. The gasket is in place, so I need just 2/10 for that bottom of the turbo. This is the lubrication. Probably you guys can see here. That is the return line for the turbo oil. Trying to set up first, at least one by hand. Yep, I got that one in. Need a longer extension. Try to keep covering my toolbox because there's so much dust in here. Now I got a long one in here. There we go. I was to go by hand first. Make sure it's not going to damage the thread. This one I can probably torque now. That will be 10 Newton meters. And I need a reduction because I'm going to look for the whole thing again. Maybe I grab it 11. Yeah, I did. I'm like silly jumping. Okay. All right. Gotta be careful always with your torque wrenches not to drop them, especially these digital ones. All right, now we have the other line. Got the banjo here. Actually, the side should be coolant, right? Yeah, that side is a coolant passage, and the oil is up top. Beautiful. That should be 17. All right, that's perfect. Now we have this flange. Alright, let's see. Right here, 2/16, if I am correct. Yep, and I think the upper ones were 18. Yeah, I cannot even get a socket in there because of the position of the muffler. Get my car close. Try not to step on the light. Let's see, because it's not like hard, but definitely not going to be easy to set these ones up. Thinking how to make a. Actually, this one I might be able to do it here. It goes the other way. Just about position. It's almost there. You guys can see. I can get this one in now. I'm gonna put that socket now. Right here. Yep, that makes it now possible to push the bracket in easier for me to work. Gotta put another bracket on under the intake as well. Looks like I'm gonna need to use a wrench for that. I mean for this. Gotta set up the intercooler hose in between the turbo and the intercooler. I think it's 17 or 18. That's 17. I just loosened this up so the catalytic converter can move, or was able to move for me to work on the top. You don't need to remove it, just from the turbo itself. This one should be 2/13. It's kind of like jamming that. Looks like I got caught by the intake. That was the bracket. Okay, that should be 2/13, which we have here. There goes one bolt. Alright, that's 13 millimeters. I'm gonna need a swivel for the upper one. Position is a little weird. Weird but accessible. I don't know why in the repair procedure it tells to disconnect the starter. Not necessary. Alright, so that's tight. And now we can put the intercooler hose. Let's put this one first. This is it's a connector between the turbo and the intercooler. This hose goes up here the other way, so we can take this clamp off. And always to make sure that you can tie the hoses, the hose clamp. This one probably is better if I do it now. All of these are 7 millimeters. Yep, this one too. Let's tie this one on the top so we can work without the tube. Right? Now let me go and get the tube. So I got one clamp. I am wondering why we have two. And this clamp was right there. And this is too small. Will this be attached to something that I remember? I thought it was a bolt in here. You know, this is the clamp there for sure. So let's see how this go. Looks like I'm gonna have to turn that because it has a small groove in the on the hose where the other clamp or the pipe seats. So I just close it up. I can turn it, put them in the position that I need, and then tie them up. It's kind of weird, this other clamp in here. I don't have anything else. I already have that clamp in there, clamp in the top. Very carefully here. There's an oil sensor in there. You don't want to break that. You get the bolt for here. So these are 13. And we can tie these clamps. Sure, hoses are always all the way, man. It's a little hard to do with one hand. Oh, the hose, try to look for another position. That's what I'm trying to hold it and tight it. And obviously it's not much room. That's okay. Okay, this is the position. Well, I need this tight. Alright, that looks good. And this is the thing that I don't get. Why it has to. Okay, guys, that's tight. Still don't know what this is in here. No need to put another clamp in there. Nope. So let me remove it. I don't think I record this on the video, so now I know what it is for. Yeah, but okay, so now you know, guys, what it was for. This has a shield. So this clamp is just for the shield. Uh, Sometimes clamps don't like to be taken apart. Oh, I got it in. Alright, perfect. That's actually too open now for that, but that's not a problem. It's actually very easy, very simple. Sorry, I can show you guys this, but there's just too much thing on the way. Yeah, that's it. That's all you need to secure the shield in there. So now I'm going to lower the car. So let me stop the video and go back up. I'm setting up the battery and another cover in there for the battery as well, which we can install. This looks like 13. Correct. All right. Now we can tie the battery post. Those are 10 millimeters. Pretty standard. It's nice and secure. And that's it. There's definitely not much in there. I'm going to put a cover in here yet because I want to start a car. I always put a little bit extra of coolant, which the level is in here, but it's definitely air in the system still. So I'm going to start it and let it warm up. All right, so here we go. Hopefully the battery's charged. Well, it was disconnected, so I am not suspecting to have a dead battery. I haven't put the wheel yet because I got to do other things on the wheel, so I'm not part of this video. That was a nice start. As you can see, there's almost no knocking on the engine, and that's why it's so important to lubricate those lifters outside. Again, no misfires. It's going to take a little while to kind of like set up itself, but pretty happy to start right away. That also gives me certainty that the time, which we double check, is perfect. Definitely injectors has to set up and fuel trims, all that stuff because the battery is being disconnected. No, the smoke on the back. Let me show you that, which is also very good. Nice and clean. Running a little uneven, but again, you just start an engine with new valves and everything, so don't expect it to run perfectly idle or stuff like that at the beginning. But it's definitely quiet. No misfire, quiet. I'm happy. So guys, this is as much as I'm going to do for this video. I now have to just let it warm up and recheck the coolant. But this misfire, this problem is 100% fixed. Hope you like the video. This is, again, remove and install cylinder head on this car will also work on this as well. But this is a good repair. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Don't forget to subscribe and see you next time.